BPod Studios.
5, the Sports Hub.
It's the all-new way for you to wake up. Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. This hour of our show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Everyone loves Cedric Maxwell. He's an analyst, the analyst. I'm not setting him up for his joke. On the 98.5 The Sports Hub, Celtics Radio Network. He might tell it anyway. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Wow. Mr. Maxwell, hello, sir.
You wouldn't give me the setup. I can't believe that. Wow. Okay. Never mind.
I'll set you up now. You seem annoyed by Grandy quite a bit.
I'm not the annoying type, not the annoyed type. I love life.
Yes, I know you do, and that's why we love having you on and hope to have you regularly and for a payment. This is what is going on behind the scenes right now. I know this is very exciting. Just look to retire a couple years earlier than you were planning.
Okay, next week.
Yes, but you have your number retired at the Garden, and Grandy was going on and on and on, and he starts throwing out like Rondo's number should be retired, this, that, and the third, and you did not. You were like, stop right there, Sean.
Yeah.
What's his deal? What's his point?
No, I think that, Sean, we're just talking about numbers to be retired and the possibilities. And Buckley one time said to me, one of the beat writers at that time said, too many numbers have been retired by the Celtics. Well, if you have a team and you won so many championships, you have a right to do it. He even told me, he said, I love a guy telling me to my face, he said, I don't even think your number should have been retired. I was like, whoa. I said, that's pretty good. I said, it's pretty good, although, you're a Finals MVP, you did all this stuff, and, you led the league. But, those are people's opinions. But then when I start looking at names being tossed out, and if you told me Ray Allen's number hasn't been retired by the Celtics yet, but then you say Rondo should be next, so like, well, why would Rondo be next? I like Rondo. Rondo was a great player. But, when you talk about Ray Allen, he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and his number still hasn't been retired by one team.
I like Rondo personally. I like Rondo a lot, but his number being retired is ridiculous. Did you see, John, are you the one who retweeted Cedric Maxwell? He's like top 5 in NBA history in some aggregate field goal percentage.
True shooting percentage. Max is number 4 all time.
4 all time?
Yes.
And Finals MVP. Max, to me, there's no argument about your number, but I push back a little bit like on the Ray Allen stuff because I think part of the calculus has to be, is that player considered to be like first and foremost a member of that team? And I think with Ray Allen, you say the name Ray Allen and you can think of a variety of teams. It doesn't necessarily mean Celtics.
Can I just... I know you're going on, your horse, but let me push back.
Okay.
That's the same thing people said about Pedro, right? Pedro he wasn't always a Red Sox, was he? Matter of fact, Ray Allen played with the Celtics longer than Pedro played with the Red Sox. And we're talking about retiring Pedro's number.
Yeah, but was Ray Allen to the level of Pedro in terms of his contributions?
Yes, he was. You would not have won a championship if you did not have. You just made me sit up in the damn bed. And I thought I was laying.
Don't disturb the ladies, Cedric. Do not wake up the women. I mean, how dare you?
Yeah, honey, go back to sleep. Hold on a minute. I'll be with you in 1 second, all right?
He was in mid-thrust when we called.
No, I'm just like, Ray Allen. He said Ray Allen with his contribution. If Ray Allen wasn't there, the Celtics wouldn't have won the championship, right? We will agree with that, right?
I agree with you.
Yes.
Hardy does not.
Yes. Yes, you agree with that.
Yes.
I do.
And he made it, and he was underlying just as important, if not more important than Kevin Garnett, with his work ethic. Ray Allen would go to the gym like 2.5 hours before the game, 3.5 hours before the game. And he instilled work ethic, but that people didn't see that Kevin Garnett instilled in that team. I just think it's really just sad that, people don't see his value. And I understand, everybody has opinions about it. But here's one of the greatest shooters maybe ever to play the game. Played with you, obviously had one of the greatest shots against Miami, But if you look at him, his totality, who he was and what he did, I think it was just as important, if not more so, to the Celtics because of bringing that championship layer back when he came in with Paul and with Kevin.
I don't like that he went to Miami. That never sat well with me.
Kevin Garnett really didn't like that.
And for presumably, from all reports, for less money. That never sat well with me.
But the two sides have kissed and made up. But Max, more to your point.
Kiss me and make up with me.
Okay, well, I guess they skipped over you. But
Cedric hasn't kissed either of the ladies.
You know what? Now I just laid back down in the bed when he said that.
There you
go. No, I think in Ray's case, it was truly a business decision because one thing that happened at that time was that Avery Bradley was starting before Ray, and then the Celtics went out and they got Jason Terry to play, and Ray was just looking at the handwriting on the wall. So where am I going to play? And how many minutes can I get? So I think that's why he decided to bolt and go to Miami. I don't think that anything should be wrong about it. Here's the thing that bothers me more about players and getting retired and all these other things and moving around is that I look at Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday wins the championship with the Milwaukee Bucks. And he puts on his Instagram, Buck for life. Next day he's traded. They move him on. So if a player decides he wants to go someplace else, then we have a problem. But if the team decides to move on a player, then there isn't as much of a problem.
Well, when does this forgiveness kick in? I mean, they keep giving his uniform number out. Gordon Hayward had it right after he left. I think J.D. Davison has it now. I mean, when did the Celtics move on and retire the number?
Well, I think look at this way. Mikey Moore wore my jersey the last time. He wore number 31. There were many people who were number 31. Dead Fred Roberts, he was the first person that wore my jersey with the Celtics, that was eventually retired. I think that everybody has to, and that's why I love what happened when he came back to Kevin Garnett's retirement. I love the way Kevin Garnett embraced him, and I talked about that before. And I was kind of annoyed with Kevin when I did an interview with Paul and Kevin did a podcast, and nobody wanted to say anything. I was like, Kevin, when are you gonna bring Ray back? And he's like, well, man, Max, I can't say. I don't know. I said, no, Kevin, you were the godfather of that team, and it goes a long way. What he said at his retirement when he said, "You next, boy," I love that. When he came out and Kevin Garnett, him and them, this is a manly embrace. When they came out with their manly embrace, and at the retirement, then Paul Pierce messed it up when he ran out there. But when they did that in the middle of the court, to me that was the best moment, man. It just showed me the camaraderie and what it's like to really be a teammate.
Max, I have a request here from a listener.
Yes.
Asked me to ask you to tell the tonsillitis story. I don't know what this is, but it sounds like you do.
That story was told on one of the other stations. I can't mention the station.
That's fine.
It was the story where my mother told me at that time when I was about 7 years old that, she told a little Cedric Maxwell that she was going to have his tonsils taken out, and that because of that, he could go to the hospital, and once he got it done, he could eat all the ice cream he wanted. So she got me right then and there. The story was that instead of me going to have my tonsils taken out, I was going to get circumcised.
They needed to order the chainsaw.
you have one bingo right there. I remember the nurse standing over me with, reading the papers. And like, what are you here for, little boy? I said, I'm here to get my tonsils taken out. She's like, no, you're not.
Oh, no.
And then after this procedure, I remember, them coming to all the other kids, and they had these things around their necks, and I was like, oh, man. And they came to me and said, how you feel? I said, I'm great. And all those guys were throwing up until they had to go to the bathroom. Then I found out that, why do I have a pig in the blanket right now? So that was it. That was the tonsil story.
Where'd they find the truck big enough to take out all that foreskin?
Whoa, my God, dude, you're getting a little that sounded a little racist to me, but I'll go along with it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I would love to be racially profiled like that.
Good. That's exactly where I was going with that.
Did you still get ice cream though?
Got ice cream, but got the biggest surprise. Many years ago, I was on the other station when we were doing the radio there, and my mother. They were talking about that story with my guy Steve Bertran, and then my mother we called my mother to confirm it, and she laughed the entire time. So that was the tonsil story that everybody had on one of the other stations, which was an all-time great, and people just still today ask me about it. Matter of fact, that night after I told this story, the Celtics had a game, and there was a listener that came to the game and actually bought me ice cream. So boo-hoo for that.
Yes.
Before or after?
After the game.
All right, very good. Cedric Maxwell, it's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, you guys are welcome. Finally, now I can lay back down in the bed. Honey, I'll be right with you in 1 minute, okay? These yahoos, they're through now.
All right. Give the best to Brooklyn's finest for us. Thank you, sir. All right, there you go, the great Cedric Maxwell.
Cut.
I did not expect him to say he was getting circumcised. I don't know where
that's amazing.
But that is a great mother because she knows at this point, as soon as I drop him off, as soon as we're at the hospital, it's not my responsibility anymore.
Right.
Like, he can't complain to me. Like, he's in other people's hands.
Brilliant.
If you did that now, they probably wouldn't go through with the procedure. Even a 7-year-old could probably put a stop to it.
They could, unless you had the world's best moil. Because I wonder,
because that's smooth talking moil.
That's an acquired skill, my friend. That's the cutting's only part of the issue in that case.
I forgot to ask him what kind of cake they had at the bris. Because you get a smooth talking moil in there, and they can. May I suggest Herschel?
Yeah,
he is the king of the moils. I don't remember my son's moil. But I remember it being a treat. The whole activity. He was into it. Everyone, it was just a whole scene. Have a party right after your first child's born.
Yeah.
No. Have a party at the house.
No.
With people in from out of town.
Nope.
It's what you want to do. All right.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Lainey Wilson is on a roll. She's delivering great music and teaming up with some of country's hottest acts. Text Lainey to 45911 to see which 4 Lainey Wilson collabs have us talking at BackstageCountry.com. Text Lainey to 45911 to get a link to the list sent right to your phone from BackstageCountry.com.
We will be back in just a moment. It's time to get to our emails. Everyone loves our emails, and we will have that for you.
One has no idea he's awake.
And it's not much of a surprise.
The other is just realizing what it takes to get up at 4:30.
Do I need to be here?
It's Toucher and Hardy.
Shows you how together this whole operation is.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, you can email John Wallach at JON at 985. I said 90 for a reason. At 985thesportshub.com. I got 2 emails that made me laugh out loud. literally laugh out loud, which is very rare for me because of the antidepressants. One was Danny Boy. It says Dan Roach is obsessed with his dead father. Now, I did not do this. Someone named Adam sent this to me, and he said, Danny Boy is so obsessed with his dead father, he has to bring his ashes to a hockey tournament. And he sent a picture right here. Artie, what's that picture of?
The bean pot.
Yeah.
And what's the bean pot look like?
An urn.
Yeah.
A big old urn.
It does look like an urn a little bit.
And then this made me laugh, too. So thank you, Adam. That was in bad taste. This is from Brian. He says, would Hardy rather, this is a home improvement one.
Oh.
Would Hardy rather marry and take care of Heidi or Jill? Now, Heidi is the buxom tool time lady from the show that followed up Pam Anderson.
She's a problem.
And Jill is the frumpy old housewife that was with Tim Allen through thick and thin.
There's nothing wrong with Jill.
I didn't say there was.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Jill.
Okay, so you go with Jill.
Well, that's Heidi. I mean, what is she doing?
All right. I don't know if you're being serious or not.
Well, I got an email here that
well, let me read this one.
Okay.
And then, because this brings Hardy into it. You got it, too.
Yes.
This might even be the one you're reading. But it says, hey, Freddie T, but it got sent to you. It might have gotten sent to John, too.
It did. Yeah.
For you, the worst episode of Beverly Hills 90210 has to be the one where Dylan spent an hour riding horses with some older woman.
I
don't recall.
One.
Of course you do.
I remember that one, yeah.
Did he bet her at all?
No, yes, he did. He was getting out of Beverly Hills because he felt that too many people were pulling him in so many directions. So his car breaks down in front of this ranch where this single woman who's about
I remember that
15 years older than her takes him in, and she turns out she's really materialistic, and she sells this horse that she's in love with. And Dylan's like, you gotta have a foundation. I have my foundation of friends back in Beverly Hills. Why am I running away from that? And goes back to Beverly Hills and rejoins the gang.
Because he was going out to the beach to watch those fish multiply.
The grunion running, yes.
Grunion running.
Yes.
Also, did you realize that Miss Kelly Kapowski herself just turned 50? I'm not surprised. Speaking of 90210. For Hardy, I think I found now, this couldn't be more wrong. I think I found the blandest white bread for him, Courtney Thorne-Smith, or I like to call her the original Judy Baldwin. Courtney Thorne-Smith was a bombshell.
Yeah, no,
bombshell starting, and I'll just take you through my Courtney Thorne-Smith memory here, is the role of the pretty one, the cheerleader in Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
I don't recall that.
Okay, so
I just know Lucas was called my condition, leukoplakia.
Yeah, that's right. She plays Elise in Lucas, and she is... what's his name?
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim is not interested in Courtney Thorne-Smith. It's
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen's girlfriend, and then Charlie Sheen dumps her for the plain Jane object of Lucas's desire.
Winona Ryder.
No. Winona Ryder had a thing for Lucas, but Lucas, what is the girl's name that Lucas goes after in Lucas?
It sounds like too many women for two guys.
There are three girls that are in the middle of this.
Revenge of the Nerds 2 is the correct answer.
That's a good one. And there's another volleyball movie called Side Out.
Side Out.
Very good in, yes.
10-5. Now 6-3.
That's right.
Now,
That's right.
I saw Side Out maybe 100 times.
C. Thomas Howell, I believe.
Okay.
I saw Side Out a million times. 30-something.
I like that
Hey,
movie,
you two slow down. We're
Peter
still
Horton.
Shut up. We're still talking about Lucas.
Sorry.
Now, the girl
Are we now?
that both Lucas and Charlie Sheen are going after is played by an actress named Carrie Green, who is very plain.
Are you going to touch the doorknob 5 times now? This is the thought that only Hardy has to finish. We needed to get the... So let's put a nameless name with a faceless face and wrap it all in a tiny little bow.
She plays Maggie, and she is a delight in the movie Lucas. Now, if you want to talk about Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise, back to Courtney Thorne-Smith, again, bombshell. She's a bombshell in summer school.
No, she's not. She's not the bombshell.
Very inappropriate relationship with Mark Harmon.
No, he won't. He won't
the
follow
bombshell. The Italian girl who hung out with Chainsaw. That was
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
and we all love Side Out. So
yes.
Yeah. And then Hardy can't deny his thing for Diane Sawyer.
That's not true.
Diane Sawyer, one of my favorite YouTube videos is her right before the nightly news taking a blue pill with a nice glass of wine. Right there at the news desk.
Oh, I wonder what the pill was.
Oh, I can imagine it's a barbiturate to help with the nerves, but I don't know why she's taking it right before she speaks. Because that's going to take a half. Maybe it's to kick in right when the news ends, so she's drifting off.
Maybe she's on an empty stomach. It's going to kick in quicker.
And for Jonathan, but I just think it's funny she has a full glass of wine like before the network news.
Right
as for Jonathan Walperson, how bad would he want a starring role in a remake of Hitchcock's classic movie, The Birds? Keep it up, guys. Love the show. That's Joe from Saugus. How would he like a role in that movie, The Birds?
I don't think he would like that. I saw that, and I would think Wallach would turn his nose up at that because the birds are essentially just a bunch of extras. You know, they are not the focal point of the film.
Plus,
I know
it's
called
dangerous
The
stereotyping of that all birds are blood-hungry madmen.
Right, right.
When all they really want to do is mate with each other and pick up used gum. Right, Johnny boy? And call Celtics games. That's all they want to do.
I have an email that was not addressed to the show or anything having to do with the show, but it does relate to the show. This came from Alex, who Zoe still refers to as an intern, even though he is not. He is a full-time sales associate here. Alex sent out the email after the football, the Super Bowl was done and the squares had been paid off. And he said, congrats to Beetle, who doubled up, won the third quarter. He had also won, the first. I think first and third paid off the same. And to somebody who won the final score. So the office squares pool paid off first, second, third quarter, and final score. Meanwhile, Dan O'Brien involved in a squares pool that did what, Dan?
First, second, third, and fourth quarter.
And you had 5 and 2. Crap numbers in a squares.
Absolutely terrible number.
No Super Bowl quarter has ever ended with a 5 and a 2.
Guess what? The one I was in didn't either. Because that ended up being the final score and not the final quarter.
And you would have taken home how much? Because there's a point to this. How much would you have taken home?
This one was 125. So
all right,
it wasn't.
What? No. That's not the point, though. It's 125, and it was a bar, a professional bar that sells drinks and food at a markup. Correct?
Location that I
Why don't they just give you $125? Is my point.
What? That might be my question when I go next time I go see them.
Like if you go to a bar enough, you should at least get $125 in free drinks a year. If you're a regular at a bar, you should get $125 in free drinks a year. You would think just for goodwill and just for your money, they'd want you to come back. They'd just give you the $125.
The goodwill is, I love it, Fred. I love the goodwill. Yes, because all of a sudden,
if I owned the bar, I'd just give you the money.
I did not.
I would just giving you the money, and it's not like it's $125. Like I would just giving you the money, and then go. You know what? You deserve it. You had the final score.
You hung in there till the end. Yes.
Yeah,
you had really crappy numbers to begin with. 5 and 2.
I'll tell you, but there's something about Boston. Then not Atlanta. Atlanta. The perks were everywhere. Everywhere. They couldn't give you enough free stuff. They just free. I mean, you could ask anyone. The Palm, Willie Salucci at the Palm. You just walk in, free. You bring in 100 friends, free. They had my birthday party there, free. Everything free. Boston very tight. They'll be like, "Hey, big fan." Then you'll go, "Ha."
Yeah.
And then they'll go like, "Oh, you want dessert?" And you're like, "No."
You want that dance? I think you're gonna have to pay for it. Oh, sorry.
Well, you got to pay the dancers. There's just they're working for they're trying to get into Kennesaw State University, which I'm just saying because every stripper went there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good. John just had one that was negative about him. I said, don't even read it.
Negative, not about me, about you.
Oh, about me? Yeah, go ahead, read it.
Hang on.
If it's about me, yeah.
I got to re-find it here. Let's see. John, I just want to remind you there's an opening on the top-rated afternoon show on your very radio station if you're interested in a work environment where you're not talked at, spoken over, and constantly ridiculed.
This sounds like crap.
You should check
you bird.
it out.
Shut up, Wally.
Yeah, dumb bird, you idiot. You failure.
You should throw your name in before the guy on your right tries to get that very job back. You wouldn't even have to change your newly acquired email address. Fred, all those times when there were one set of footprints, that was someone else carrying you.
If you don't think I know that,
By
John
the way,
carries me.
Nick blatantly stole the email bit from Felger and Maz's email of the day. Now, you unoriginal bastard.
Oh, someone else has done this?
Stay
Wait a
strong.
second. A radio show has read emails on the air?
I find that very difficult to believe.
I don't believe it.
Oh,
right.
I thought Nick had really come up with something, hence the opening that Mike put together of Nick saying, I have an idea for a bit. You should read email. That's the whole idea. Is that was Nick's big idea, was something that's been done. It's a trope. Is that the correct term?
I think so.
Thank you.
It's one of those words I would never use out loud because I'm not sure, but
it's like clandestine.
Clandestine I use.
Or and analogous. See, now you can see why I don't say that. I was about to say it's analogous or analogous, and I knew I was going to screw it up, and I knew I was going to sound dumb, and I knew that I was going to have to go home and cut. Not cool.
Good morning, gentlemen, and Foghorn Leghorn. I'm in my early 40s.
Is this to make up for the negative one about me?
No, I don't know. I'm in my early 40s, and we've got a friend that admitted his celebrity crush is Patricia Richardson.
Oh!
He gets a lot of crap for it, but
this is Jill. This is Jill from Home Improvement.
Yes.
Patricia Richardson.
Yeah, he gets a lot of crap for it, but I can see Hardy and his point. Keep up the great work. Love, Matt.
I'll tell you, the world is electric with Hardy's taste in women.
Yeah.
They are real. It's electric. He likes.
Oh, you know who she's really good in this Peter Fonda movie called Yuli's Gold, and she plays the plain Jane nurse across the street from Yuli. But she helps out because Yuli's daughter comes home and she's all strung out on the H, and she comes over and helps him out a little bit. But
do you still feel the chafing from Yuli's Gold being on HBO at noon when you were an adolescent?
It's a really good movie. You should watch Yuli's Gold.
You know what? He's a big fan of the blueberry scene in another Fonda affair.
White wallpaper that he can stare at?
On Golden Pond.
Oh, okay.
He gets very excited when Peter Fonda gets lost in the blueberry patch.
I like the birthday scene. I like when Catherine, happy birthday to you.
Jesus.
Chelsea is Jane Fonda.
Okay.
And
you
know who
I
plays
loved
her
work
love
in
interest?
Vietnam.
They get married in Brussels. I remember that part of the movie.
What, on a Golden Pond?
Dabney Coleman plays Chelsea. That's Jane Fonda. Chelsea is the character. She gets married to, I believe, Richard is Dabney Coleman's character.
I've never seen on Golden Pond. I just know of it. Movie night at the house?
On
Hardy?
Golden Pond and Yuli's Gold.
Yeah.
So that's
Who's bringing the cracker?
So we'll get all three Fondas going. We'll get Henry Fonda, and we'll get Peter Fonda. We'll have Jane. Oh, and maybe we'll watch. Who's the other Fonda that I'm missing? Yeah. Oh,
Bridget Fonda.
We'll
watch Singles.
Have you seen Bridget Fonda lately, by the way?
No.
You got to love her in Singles. Oh, my God. Now you hit on it. That was fate.
Okay.
You got to love Bridget Fonda in Singles. That's got to be exactly home run, Hardy, bob haircut, no boobs. Now we're talking.
Look up Bridget Fonda recently. There's something going on with her. It's not good.
Oh, okay.
That's not good.
All right.
Yeah, it's not.
Would she get implants?
No. I want your live on-air reaction, guy. I don't want you doing it during the break.
Bridget Fonda. Where would I find pictures of her now? The Independent. Bridget Fonda at 60. Let's see. Bridget Fonda at 60. There is no pictures of her. There are pictures of her from old movies. I'm not
Here we go. Right there.
Hachi Machi. Wowzy.
There.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's heavier.
Yeah, that's, one way of putting it.
But listen, she doesn't have to starve herself for the Hollywood types anymore. Let the woman get in her car.
Okay.
How dare you? How dare you? She starved herself for long enough.
Okay.
And now they're putting pictures. Page 6 was nice enough to put a picture of her at 20 next to a picture of her at 60.
Right.
And say, look, she's grown a lot horizontally on the kind of weight. All right. We will be back. We will have the stack where Hardy can throw more women who are guilty of aging.
I say there's something going on because I think there is a larger health issue at play there. That's
well,
all
there's something larger, her body, and I don't know why you have to throw her under the bus for it. Also, her vision seems to have gone south.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Wondering who made our list of the top 5 all-time queens of country music? Did Carrie Underwood make the cut? Find out now when you text Queens to 45911 and scroll through the list on BackstageCountry.com. Text Queens to 45911 to see the talented artists who rounded out our top 5 list.
Very thick glasses.
Very thick glasses. All right, very good. Here are the headlines.
In the office, in your car, in your footy pajamas, this is how Boston sports fans start their day.
I bet you're just jealous.
Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
Ready?
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel. Sportsbook can have fun. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And the Stack is brought to you by Best Ford in Nashua. Looking for great deals on a new Ford? Go to the Best First. Best Ford in Nashua. For more info, head to bestfordofnashua.com. Hardy, what's going on besides Bridget Fonda?
Shame on us for not talking more about the Bruins, who are home tonight to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jim Montgomery speaking yesterday, saying things needed to change.
The practice is all the drills we do all the time anyways. But we talked about how we came out of Christmas break and we came back with real good focus. We wanted to prove something. It showed in the way we played. And I think maybe we've come back from this break with not that same attitude. We need to get it back.
So he's talking about post-All-Star break, not very.
Give me my no money I spent, but give me I think it was actually spent. Give me my lift fare back from Saturday's matinee that I took my son to. I mean, that was all I saw was Pacioretty get speared in the nuts.
2 of the last 3 games have been the 2 worst games they've played.
Real
all
snoozer.
Season. Yeah.
But Brad Marchand reaching a milestone tonight, 1,000 games.
It's special, I think, when you look back.
Who cares?
I look
Screw you.
at it so many different ways. You know, when you
why don't you go give yourself a cake?
Back at it as a kid coming up and just trying to make the league, it's hard to imagine playing 1,000 games.
Sure.
Especially for one team.
Take a hike.
I
hate him. I don't. I like Brad a lot. I call him Brad.
Playing 1,000 games was a goal at one point, and then when it became reachable, I had other goals and bigger aspirations. So it is special to look back and kind of see how far it's come. But hopefully it's just a building block to many more.
He has been one of the consistently good things to watch this season, even during this slump. He's the guy out there trying to get something started, but hasn't been working. All right.
All right, hang on.
We got something here, Fred.
I do think we have something.
We got a little.
This is breaking sports news. Powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, 5 minutes ago, Ben Volen on Twitter says, some snow day in Boston, rolled eye emoji.
I guess.
I think he speaks for all of us. It needed to be said, and leave it to Volen for saying it.
To have the guts to say it. To say it out loud. You say that it's not bad out there, Fred, but as we prepare to do our crossover here in a few minutes.
No, I didn't say it. Volen did. Don't throw me under the bus.
Okay. Ben Volen says, not much of a snow day, but as we prepare to talk to Mark Bertran and Scott Zolak here in a moment, we won't be talking to Zoe. Unable to make it in due to the storm. Scott Zolak will be broadcasting from home today.
They did close the office. In fairness, no one is here, and they haven't turned on the lights. I I'm of the camp of get whatever you can. Take what they'll give you. Mm-hmm. And Scott ain't getting fired ever, no matter what he does.
That's true.
If I'm him, I'm staying home too. I don't mind coming in anymore. I like coming in. So it's better than staying home. I'd rather be here than at home, actually. That wasn't always the case. So that's why I was like, I'll come in. They even asked me if I want. You were in there. Rick asked me if I wanted to broadcast from home. I didn't want to broadcast from home.
It's true.
Maybe 6 months ago, I'm broadcasting from home. But I don't want to now. So if Scott wants to broadcast from home, I say more power to him. I think we're all on the same team, but we should unionize, as a matter of fact. It worked so well the first time.
Some snow day in Boston.
Rolled eye emoji. I wonder if he got up and he looked out the window and he was just like, Jesus, Pete. All right, here we go. I'm going to have to put this on the record. Okay. Thank God for emojis because they're expressing my disdain for the weather forecasters. Way to go, schmucks. You dumb schmucks. The only point I'm making is that Newton schools are in school today because they did it right. No, they've done everything wrong. But it just proves to me that you guys could have had school today. Again, my son's private school just announced yesterday afternoon. They're like, look, it's the end of the trimester. We've never burned the school snow day. We're just going to burn it no matter what. Use it as a chance for the kids to catch up. And I figured I like your transparency here. Mm-hmm. Let's not pretend this is for the safety of anyone. I mean, they put a little of that in. But they were like, at the end of the day, even if it doesn't snow, what's the big deal? And I said, you know what? That's nice. But the Newton school system was like, we're waiting until 5 in the morning because we can't afford to burn any more snow days and get you mad at us. And they waited, and now my daughter's sitting in class. Probably kicking ass, if it's part of my French.
One more thing we have to address today, Fred. Antonio Brown brought this to everyone's attention, the world's attention, with a clip from the Super Bowl showing the suite where Taylor Swift was with Ice Spice.
Ice Spice.
And said, nothing to see here, just Taylor Swift's guest, Ice Spice, throwing up demonic signs while wearing an upside-down cross, making sure the world sees it on the big screen, and then in all caps, demons. And there is a long thread of people agreeing with Antonio Brown.
It's funny because my daughter's a big fan of Ice Spice, and yesterday she was playing Dungeons and Dragons in the basement. So there is, if you joke about a fallout, but she can make people super big dorks right away.
A lot of verified accounts. You really have to sell your soul to be in popular music, don't you? Goodness, that's some great Steve.
I got news for you. You can make devil horns till the day you die, and nothing can happen. I mean, you could just sit around making devil horns.
Not to be the case right now.
And they're like lame devil horns, too. They're not even like the Ronnie James Dio ones that make the 6, and the 6. If you just noticed, I circled it on my hands on Twitch. Yeah. So you can do it for the kids at school. Yeah. This, where you put your thumb and hold down your middle and index fingers, is how to make the devil horns, because not only does it make devil horns, it makes a 6 with your thumb and index finger, a 6 with your index finger and thumb, and a 6 with your pinky and ring finger. If you ever watched the PMRC lady in The Decline of Western Civilization 2, where they were boycotting bands such as Kiss
yes,
and Ted Nugent for their satanic imagery.
Okay.
And then I will say, it doesn't take a scholar to decipher the lyrics of Kiss and Ted Nugent. They're about banging underage girls, not Satanism. That's what you should have been upset about.
Is that what Wango Tango is about?
Just his life in general. And also, Christine 16, if you didn't know, he talks about hanging out in front of the high school. I mean, I can pull it up on Rap Genius if you'd like. But my thing is this. Say Ice Spice is a tool of the devil's. It does look like she has an upside-down cross on. Say she loves the devil more than anything. What is the danger of her giving the devil horns for momentarily during the Super Bowl? What is that going to lead to besides dorky stuff?
I don't usually say things like
a Pentagon tattoo or something.
I don't usually say things like this to girls your age. But when I saw you coming out of school that day I knew I've got to have you. I've got to have you.
Yeah.
Christine 16.
Yeah, not great. Not great. Gene Simmons still walking around, not canceled.
Jim Blossoms of all bands covered that for the Kiss My Ass covers compilation.
You love that Kiss My Ass covers compilation. Holy moly.
I love Jim Blossoms, really.
You do love the Jim Blossoms. You got them, too. All right, we'll be right back with Bertrand because Zolak's a big old goof. Zolak, more like ain't coming into work gack. More like lazy bones.
Oh, you should you should have hit the button after not coming into work, Gack, because that one killed, and that's the one you leave on.
Scott, more like not coming into work.
It's the all-new Toucher and Hardy.
Whatever, man.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and look at who's here but Mark Bertran. Hello,
Hey,
Mark.
what's up?
Freshly back from Vegas.
Here in our studios.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good to see you, too.
What? Zoe, is he snowed in?
He's in one of those heavy snow bands. A lot of precipitation. There he is.
Hey, guys.
Heavy snow, several tenths of an inch of precipitation.
It's coming down.
Coming down, yes.
I'm on your camp, Zoe. I figure if the man will let you take it, grab it.
Well, I mean, they packed us up and said, why don't you guys think of working from home tomorrow with the big nor'easter coming in? And, of course, the weather people got it wrong again.
Yeah, that's all they do is get it wrong.
So this is my ode to the weather people to stay at home because it's so treacherous out to cancel school at 10 p.m. last night.
Newton School's still in school today.
Are they?
Yeah, all you have to do is have a strike for 2
We
and a
already
half
missed
weeks.
half the year.
Yeah,
better get back in.
Because then they start. They already erased February break. So if they missed any more, they were going to have to screw with spring break, and then that's 2 vacations or 2. You know, people were depending on that time off.
Sure.
You can't do that to people twice.
So
right.
they canceled school at 10 o'clock last night for you guys?
For King Philip, and we never canceled.
Okay.
10 o'clock last night.
All right. Natick closed at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
That's ridiculous.
I agree. It's ridiculous.
Well, I told
Salem was the first, John, so you had Salem way ahead of you.
Okay.
My son's private school canceled, but they were like, I told you, they were upfront about it. They were like, look, we're canceling it. It might not snow, but whatever.
Hey, with all due respect.
And I just expect the transparency. They were just like, look, we got a couple of these built in. We're burning one.
What do you want us to do?
Yeah. Let's all relax. All right. So what is on the agenda today as football season is wrapped up?
More football. We're not giving it up yet.
No.
Can't. We're only not even 48 hours removed.
What are you talking about, like football?
Super Bowl.
Nice.
Stuff. Yeah.
I looked up Christine 16 lyrics, and it came up with Too Short. You guys remember Too Short? He used to live in the Country Club of the South in Alpharetta, Georgia. Drive his BMW around, had big bazooka in the back.
Yeah.
Big bass speaker.
Yeah.
Too short.
He has 3 versions of 16 Hoes. One is Mandy and Mindy, one is Amy and Cindy, and one has Selena and Martina.
It sounds like he needs 10 more, then he's got the full 16.
Well, that's just 3 of his versions of 16 Hoes.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. He mentions the other hoes in those songs. It's not just about those 2 girls.
But if you he mentions Tasha and Tamika, Caroline and Keisha, LaShonda and Shaquita, Jane and Chelsea.
You got to name check them all.
Every one of them
16
hoes. But which one's your bottom hoe? Because that's the one that you let sleep in bed with you. All right. You guys enjoy yourselves. That'll do it for us. Bye.